Is there a difference in the significance of the Rebbe's Shul, the Rebbe's room, and the Rebbe's Ohel?
I'm guessing, and my guess is as good as yours, but I'll guess. I usually don't like to guess. When you ask me such questions, I'll say ask somebody else. I think that in a very, very real way, the Ohel is different. Because the Ohel is the guf. The Rebbe said to people, I think it's even in Sichos, but the Rebbe said to people that where the guf is, the nefesh is. If you look in the Zohar, that you say by the Ohel, and it's really found Bekitzer in the Ger Sakedesh Chav Zayin and Tanya also. There's nefesh, ruach, and neshama. The neshama goes lamaylo, and it has an influence on the world like stars, a very exotic thing. The ruach is chokuk in the avir, in the air, that people walk as they follow in the ways of the tzaddik. That's where you have the ruach, and the nefesh is in the guf. By the Ohel, by the tzin, the guf is nefeshes. So the Rebbe told people that the nefesh is linked to the yechida. The lowest level, the highest level are connected. So I think in this way the Ohel is very different. This is the guf, kodesh, and this is where the yechid is. Now this in no way indicates chas v'shalom hepech hachayim. This is not about this question, because of course everybody believes that the Rebbe is alive. The question whether we should announce it or not. Everybody understands you're not going to talk to a stone when you visit the Ohel. It's a lebedik Ohel, not a lebedik and Rebbe. Tzadikim chayim, finished. And you don't even have to say the middle word. But in terms of the Metzias, as we understand it, the Guf Kodesh is here, and the Guf Kodesh is connected to the level of Nefesh, and the level of Nefesh is connected to Yechida. When it comes to 770 and the Rebbe's room, we're dealing with another issue. And the other issue is, like it says, it's brought from Kitzvei Arizal, Kedusha Eina Zazam Em Koima. Or the Lashon precisely is Kedusha Eina Zazam Em Koima Rishon Legamri. Any place a tzaddik touches becomes his, and he's his forever. The Sichos of the Rebbe, that the Rebbe gave out, the Lakuta Sichos Nissen, that came out Tafshin Mem Vov, I think, where the Rebbe compared the chair and the table and the pen and the pencil of a Rebbe to Kelim of Atzilus. It's a Lakus. It's not, what would you call it? Tashmishe Kedusha or Machshire Mitzvah. It's a Lakus Mamish. The Kelim of a Rebbe are Lakus. The Rebbe touches something, the Rebbe is left there. Which of course is the explanation of the Maimon Chazal, that tzaddikim mamoinim chaber aleim yosem igufam, the Rabbeim value everything that they touch because there's a piece of them in it. And the example which always comes to mind when I contemplate this is a recollection that I have, and any Lubavitcher who was around 770 for any period of time remembers this. The Rebbe would give mashke, alcohol, which of course you're not allowed to have on Pesach. Wine you can have on Pesach. Mashke have on Pesach. And I remember one year specifically, it was after Purim, and the Rebbe was giving mashke. And in the course of announcing the giving of mashke, which was a regular feature in every Shabbos Fabrengen, the Rebbe's tone suddenly changed. And he says, this is selbstverständlich, it's self-understood, as chas v'sholem f'amoy koifen di mashke ta'goy. God forbid to sell this mashke to a non-Jew. And the earnestness, the holy seriousness with which the Rebbe uttered those words vibrated through the room. You could feel the intensity of it. It was very softly spoken, but very powerfully said. God forbid that this mashke by a god. This is Elikus, this is Getlachkeit. And the Rebbe says, my mashke you don't sell, you drink it up. Which of course explains spiritually why the Rabbeim didn't do what we do, which is make a harsha, make the Rav their attorney to sell their chametz, actually sell the chametz to a Rav, to another Jew. And the Rav is selling to the guy the Rav's chametz, not the Rebbe's chametz. I don't think this is a halachic thing. I think this is a mystical thing. The nechosim of a tzaddik are not allowed to be by a goy. And if a Rebbe has to sell chametz, he sells to a yid. And then the yid sells what is his to a non-Jew. I happen to have a relative, a non-Lubavitch relative, who told me that they lived in the same, her grandparents lived in the same building as the Rebbe, president in New York. They lived beneath the Rebbe. This is interesting. And they could never sleep. All night it was tapping. And then it would get quiet, and you would think, oh, it's the Kemeshlofen. 10 minutes later, the tapping resumed. This is a relative of mine. I heard this firsthand. A whole night it was tapping. Anyway, the Rebbe left the apartment in Tashkent Zvav, 55, 56. They took the Rebbe's apartment. They were from a Yidden, Gerech Sidim. And they came to tell the Rebbe that they took his apartment. And the Rebbe was so happy that a Yid got his apartment, and not a non-Yid. That's the nechosim of a tzaddik. So the Ohel is I think deeper. But the 770 and the Cheder of the Rebbe was there, the Rebbe is there. It's as simple as that. Kedusha eina zazum emkoima. And of course, this whole philosophy or mysticism became revealed to us because of the terrible pain of the story of the Sfarim, where the Rebbe articulated what it means, the property of a Rebbe. Every piece, every physical thing that the Rebbe owns is a part of his physical body. And when you displace it and you treat it the way he doesn't want it to be treated, the Rebbe described it as hurting him physically. And that's the significance in the Lashon HaShas of Kisei Mita Shulchan U'Menorah, the idea that when they daven in the regular kviyas, they put the Rebbe's shtender and the Rebbe's chair and they put the light on. The Gemara says in Ksubis, Ne'er Dalek B'Mkeimei and Mita Mutas and the Shulchan and the Kisei, this is the way it's supposed to be. What was is. The Rebbe's shtender, the Rebbe's chair, the Rebbe's light. It doesn't change. That presence continues because the Rebbe is in every neches that he touched and that he used. Now, is there a difference between downstairs of 770 and upstairs of 770? I'm sure there is. And there are many, many people who feel that going into the Rebbe's room is not a simple matter, which means to say either you shouldn't go in at all, or you should go in the way you would have gone into Yechidus. You wouldn't go into the Rebbe's room the way you would walk into 770, even if the Rebbe was present at a Fabrengen. There's a difference. But those are my thoughts on the question, and I hope it doesn't cost me too dearly.